So as I was so this video is an introduction video to the hardware I'll be using to benchmark the Titan X with. So of course you need to know what other hardware I'll be using before I give any benchmark results. So the monitor I'm using is unfortunately not a 4K monitor, it's a 2K monitor, but I love my 2K monitor and I preferred it because I decided not to jump on the 4K bandwagon yet, as people say. I wasn't sure the technology was mature yet. I think it's starting to mature already quite well, but at the time when I bought this monitor it was not that great yet. But I love this monitor. It is a great monitor. So it's an Asus PB258Q WQHD. It's an IPS display monitor, and it's got great viewing angles, and just in general I just love it. The RAM is 16 GB. I have 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance low profile RAM running at 1866 megahertz, so that's okay, I guess. The RAM's great. I've never had issues with RAM in general, so you know. The CPU is an i7 4770K. Generally it's at stock. Speeds, because I have never seen the point of upgrading overclocking at the moment, because I just have never had issues with the CPU. I have overclocked, and on occasion I will overclock, and if I do ever overclock I will make sure I mention in videos, but in general I'm going to be running things at stock, which is 3.5 GHz at base and 3.9 at boost. My CPU always boosts successfully and it's regularly, and I actually think it's always boosting because there's just no point for it. I mean, it runs really cool because I have a very good cooler, right? So that's not an issue. So the occasional overclock I do though is at 4.5 gigahertz. It's a mild to quite high. It's between a medium and a high overclock for this processor. The motherboard I have is an Asus Z87A motherboard. It's a great motherboard. I've never had issues with it. It's not a gaming motherboard, but that is because I didn't necessarily want a gaming motherboard when I bought the PC. It was going to be kind of for work and for games, and predominantly for work. I do game quite a bit, but I wouldn't say this is a completely game-oriented PC. But with that respect, I mean, of course, I play games, and I play a lot of games. But recently I've been actually working a lot, so I've had less of a chance to play games. I've fallen behind with the games I do play. But anyway, so the software I'll be testing, so that's it with the hardware, by the way. So if any of you do want to know more about the hardware I have, so such as speakers or sound or anything else you want to know, any kind of other software or hardware things you need to know, I will tell you everything. If you ask specific questions, I'll give you very specific answers. This is just kind of like an overview, because I don't think in my mind, I don't think you need to know more details about my hardware to, you know, understand how I got the benchmarks I did get. Anyway, so the software or the games that I'll be using to benchmark the graphics card with will be Guild Wars 2, which is I'm currently playing, as you can see, The Witcher 3, which is quite a heavy game, I guess, an old one, but quite a heavy game still, and quite good looking, and it's quite amazing, right? Adrift is another one. It's a VR game, but it's you know, it's a good one to test this graphics card with, definitely. VR Funhouse and Project Cars, all in VR, so I'll be concentrating those just with VR. So those will be the games I'll be testing. Software-wise as well, I will be doing, I think, slightly more complicated tests, which will be like running Python algorithms. So that's mainly to do with like the PhD I'm doing. Most probably it's going to be actually more fun for me to do these kind of tests, because I really want to see how it performs when I run some algorithms on it, see how fast it can do them compared to like our Office PCs and our Office server, which has got more than 24 cores. of course, it doesn't have a graphics card, so it's, and also we have a high performance computing cluster, which I would also want to test this graphics card against. As we all know, this is not supposed to be a gaming graphics card. Graphics card, as Nvidia has said before, and many other reviewers are saying. So I want to see how it performs in these kind of like deep learning or these kind of programming, environments. So I'll be using mainly Python to program with, but I will also be running ROS, which is a very heavy software, which I'll be running simulations on. So those of you unfamiliar with ROS, it's called a robot operating system, and I'll be running multiple robots with multiple localization and navigation software running at the same time, all being simulated. At the moment, the most I have ever done is simulated 3 robots in something called Stage and rviz, just to see how it runs. And I can tell you that a 4-core CPU and a 16-core server have, 24-core server has kind of failed at running this smoothly. So I'll be very interested to see what this graphics card can put on the table. So this is the main introduction kind of to the hardware and software I'll be running and benchmarking on. If any of you want me to benchmark any other games in particular, if I have them, I will benchmark them. Any other software, if I have it, I will benchmark it. If it's free, I'll get it and I'll benchmark it. The problem is that I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to always be uploading videos, and there will not be regular videos, and I will not be earning money for it because I am not going to be like one of those YouTubers, unfortunately. This is kind of just like a fun thing I want to do with my girlfriend and some friends, and just like upload some interesting videos and just fun things. Like, I will not be names dropping. I love Nvidia, but I also like AMD. AMD has an amazing work model, unlike Nvidia, which I don't want to complain about, unfortunately, because I love Nvidia, but I have to complain about it. But let's not go there. So I will try not to drop names. For instance, I do have an Asus motherboard and stuff like this. I have whatever Corsair RAM, but it's not. I don't really care. I'm not advertising for them. Any kind of RAM, any kind of graphics card can be good depending on what you have. But I guess the whole idea of these videos is just to test the Titan X, because this is like a new toy I have, and I think it's incredible that it just runs the way it runs. So I do not want to be endorsing or telling people to get this graphics card, or in particular anything special about this graphics card. Everything I'm saying is more just for fun rather than for doing, for selling anything, or for wanting money, or for wanting a crap load of subscribers. I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. I'm more interested in what you think. I'm more interested in just having fun, just chilling out, just really showing you something interesting and different. That's it. Anyway, so that's it for this video. I'm going to finish this boss, and then I'm going to stop the video, and hopefully upload it tonight. And hopefully YouTube does not have a fit when it's more than 10 minutes long, because I do not know the new policies on this. So anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to play this, and I'm going to also show you the graphics settings at the end of it. This is not going to be a benchmarking video. It's just going to be a very quick demonstration of what the Titan can do. Yes, this is running right now on the Titan, and it's surprisingly heavy, and it's running on incredibly high graphics, and it's running at about 56 frames. That's pretty good. Okay, for those of you that don't know, Euros is quite a heavy game, especially when there's world boss fights like this. So world boss fights, most people drop in the 30s, 40s with very good graphics card, very low graphics settings. This is super sampling is enabled, all the graphics settings are enabled, everything is just going crazy on this boss battle. So I mean, if you see, it's not a lot of people on the screen, but it's quite a few, and the boss and the optimization of the game is not perfect. So yes, it is running, I think, pretty well. I've never run it at this high settings, at this kind of FPS before. So you can see in a moment it's dropped up to 30. That's because I'm close to the characters, so it's now processing more characters, showing more information on the screen. Also, the boss is dead, as you can see, so boom, back to 60, and people are leaving. Yes, people are leaving. A lot of people have left. So the more people that leave, and the more the boss disappears, and I move away from shining lights, the higher the FPS goes. So generally in this game, at the highest graphic settings, which is at the moment, as you can see, 2K highest. These are all highest. You have to trust me on that. If you want, you can go check it out. But I've gone through these so many times, I don't think I want to do it again. But it's all highest. It doesn't go any higher than this. So everything's enabled, everything's on high. It's on 60 because I like it locked at 60. If I don't lock it at 60, the Titan just goes insane and has a field day of dying. I don't want to kill my Titan, and I like my FPS gaming. But for benchmarks, for future benchmarks, I will unlock the FPS, of course, very briefly, and allow you to see what the Titan can do when it's sweating and running more than 60 FPS per second. So that's it for my first video. I hope you enjoyed, and peace out.